and welcome to another healing session with Sophie and Gugu on Healing with Sophie and Gugu. It's so amazing that Tina, as women, we're always talking about healing. But I think a lot of us are always going for therapists, but a different kind of therapist where you talk to a person and you tell them your life story and you're like, I feel ukuthi mangaphuma nje from my friends and just talk to somebody different, which has helped me personally a lot. But I think there are many, many different mechanisms. I think me and Gugu some time ago, we spoke about what makes us heal. Gugu spoke about the book that she reads, driving heals her. I spoke about my bubble bath, which is my personal favorite. But today we have an amazing guest, a young, beautiful lady who is super talented and is a reflexologist. I always never know how to say it. Reflexologist. And she hails all the way from KZN. I think it's the ocean. Yabona amanzi, and just that sound just motivated and encouraged her. You just need to heal people differently. But she's here to share with us her personal story, her personal journey on why she needed healing and why she chose this particular career and what it has done for her personally. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sibahle Nzuza. I'm Suchi, so I'm always wondering if I'm saying it correctly or not. Gugu?
Yes, Sophie, thank you so much, Sibahle, for joining us. In the journey of healing, we discovered so far, Sophie, that there's 3 stages now. Remember in the beginning, we uncovered so many forms of things that are traumatic in our lives that bring us to the point where we now decide, I need healing. And now there are people like Sibahle, our guest today. We've discovered that, in pain, then we seek healing. And in healing, some people, they go into the career to be able to open up and to be able to heal others, So in our communities, we need to be aware and start unpacking, such, conversations where people understand the importance of healing. There are many forms like you've just labeled now, but I'm more excited to hear about hers today. She calls herself a healing therapist. You specialize in healing sessions. Why? Before you became a healing specialist, what was the story behind it? Because there's always a story.
Okay, so my story is I grew up in KZN, as you guys have said, and I grew up with my mom and my dad in the house and my siblings. I've got 2 siblings, a brother and a sister. And I think the one thing that made me realize that in our background as Black people, we don't really asinayo indaba yokuphila, indaba yokuthi kumele siphole, siyamukele isimo sokuba buhlungu, sokulimala, and then we heal and we allow the healing process to take place. Is when in 2013 I lost my mom. She had a brain aneurysm. If you guys know what that is. Brain aneurysm. Basically,
but for somebody who doesn't know,
she basically had a tumor or like a blood clot on the veins on her head, inside her head, and then one of them busted, and then blood spilled all over her brain, on top of her head and all over the brain. And she had to go through a procedure where they needed to suck out the blood, and then basically an operation for her to heal and for her to come back to life, because she was in ventilators, and she was it was a hard moment. But anyways, she went through therapy. She went through
the therapy stages.
Yes, the therapy stages. No, actually, I'm looking for the word. They actually went, and she went to theater, and they drained the blood out of her head. She came back, and then when it was time for her to wake up, she was slowly coming in back to life, because they were starting to unplug the ventilators and all the machines that are
breathing in normal oxygen.
Yes, and then at some point, I don't know, another episode happened. Apparently, her veins that were transferring oxygen from the body to the brain, they snapped, and when they did that, it happened for a time that will it happened for a long time, that actually enables a brain damage to occur. Yes, so
because it's now lacking oxygen in the brain.
Yes. It was for a few seconds, but I think a few seconds is a lot for the brain. So then at that point she slowly let go, and she basically passed away from that whole thing. So that was the breaking point for me, because I started looking at my mom and the life that she was living in front of my eyes, and the experiences she had with people around her, my dad, us as kids, people, the family. And then I realized that it's there's a lot of things that she didn't heal from a very, very young age. I mean,
the burden that she carried throughout the years.
She carried
before her marriage.
Even when she was very young, growing up at home, you know, how she was raised. All of those things, they made me realize it's the healing process that she lacked, and it came to a point where her brain or her muscles or whatever it is that affects a person not healing, came to a point where it
the pressure was just too much.
It couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
So, and that was it. And I just realized it's because my mom, she was very quiet. She was very reserved. She was a very reserved person. So anyway,
she never expressed how she felt?
Yes, exactly. She would go through pain, and she would share a few things here and there with me. But I realized there was a lot of pain that she was holding inside of her, and it basically
it destroyed her.
Slowly over the years.
Yes, and she never even knew. She never even knew that, you know, she's actually
killing herself slowly. Yes. Wow.
Which is the norms. Hey, Sophie, it's a typical story, no?
Yeah.
Like where we as women, we just seem to be able to take it, and then we get to a point where, you know, we learn and we've practiced to take it so well, but we don't see the damage. You know, the things that we don't let out, the things that we don't speak about, the damage they have, the impact it has on our bodies, our brains, and our minds, you know. So it's very important that you identify that after this happened, then you knew that she never looked for healing. And you guys just saw an episode happening of her having clots. Then you're like, no, something is wrong. You don't know
because with
the
other
history.
people, yes, because with other families, you find if a couple is fighting, as an example, you can say, Ubaba was abusing my mother. So I saw it for years from childhood. I actually have a memory where Ubaba and she took time to get up, but she made it like it was just a game. But we know it's been happening for years. So you find that because it was in the open, you think it's easier to heal. Kanti, no. You know, any pain, any wound, you know, that's why here on Healing with Sophie and Gugu, I think it's very important that with you guys at home, it's very important to identify ukuthi ngine pain and it's about me, and how long of this am I expecting myself to take it? And then you say, oh well, mina ngingagara, I can take it. And then you say, but the body is your best friend, but sometimes is not your best friend, because it's like, but I'm also gonna do what I want because I'm tired. Yes, you're thinking you can deal with it, but I'm tired. And I think for you, what we want to know is in that journey of remembering ukuthi umama used to share with you whatever she was going through. Maybe it was at that time, maybe it wasn't, but why did it affect you so much? You know, losing a parent is one of the most painful things. I've lost my mother, I've lost my father, and my mom passed on in a similar manner. She was in an irreversible coma. You know, she didn't wake up, and I was there every day in hospital until the day she passed on. But what I'm saying is, there's always a story. I knew her story. That's why maybe it hurt me so much.
Yes.
What was the story that you know about her that affected you so much to the point where you felt, I also, Mina, it's her story, but it's affected me as her daughter,
And I need to change.
and I need to heal or change kind of that line.
Okay. So my mom, she used to come to me and she would tell me of the things that are happening in her life, like between her and my dad and the family at large. So as a kid, I would just listen and I'll feel sorry for her. You know, I wouldn't advise, and I just feel sorry. You know, if she's crying, then I'll just be there, just sitting next to her. You know. Then even it wasn't even hugging, because my mom, she never used to give us that hugging. You know, that love, that hugging, touchy feeling love. Yes, when you are feeling down, she'll just be, oh, come on, you'll be fine. You know, she'll just encourage you. Yeah, she didn't have affection, which I think she did, because I mean, I'm sure she did with my dad, so she would have had affection with us.
It's just that it's a different kind of affection.
It's different, I guess, when it comes to kids. I wouldn't know because I don't have kids yet myself, but I would just sit there and listen as she speaks, and in a way, I saw that it was her way of letting go, or offloading her stuff, even though it was, to me, it was a burden.
You felt you're too young for it?
I felt I was a bit too young.
And you carried it with you.
I carried it.
At what age was that?
Probably I was around from 13 years.
13 years, wow.
Age of 13, 15. Yeah. She would talk to me about little things. She wouldn't go into detail, but she would just tell me.
Sometimes you're stressed. It could be things
exactly.
like that are just,
and she
by the way.
She wouldn't think it affects me. I don't know if she thought it does affect me, you know, because now if your mom comes to you and speaks something about your dad that is not nice,
but you love your dad.
You love your dad.
But
now you're just
also.
looking at it, but why would my dad do that, you know?
You judge.
So it's difficult. It came to a point where I felt her burden was on me in a way, because she was, you know, talking to me, and I felt it and I heard it. So I felt, I actually, even myself, I need healing. I need some counseling or some form of healing, you know, in whichever way it can come.
When did that come to you? Did it come to you before she even got sick? Because I personally think when I had my journey with my mother, I used to cry in a corner because I could see how it was hurting her. Yes, she was not telling me all the stories, because abazali sometimes they can share, because you're like a best friend, right? Especially if a girl child. But she's too young to hear the detail. Sometimes some of us are confident and you just tell the detail. So it just depends on what you feel the maturity of your child is, and because you were young. But at which point did you feel I'm now needing healing? Before she passed on? We know, obviously, when she passed on, you need healing. You've lost a mother, you've lost a parent, for grief. But now, as a young woman who's growing, and you've heard this over and over in different ways, when did you say, this is a lot? Telling a friend or a sister, talking to God, or talking to yourself?
At some stage, Sophie, as a child, I can imagine, you start taking sides. Because if somebody's always crying and telling you things, you take their pain, this is your mother.
Yes.
You start separating the parents. So this again goes back to what we're always talking about, to say, because we don't have trusting stations that we can go to confine, and we don't have or haven't established communities where women and men collectively can go and confine, you know, in secrecy, knowing that their secrets are protected. Because sometimes your mother offloads to you. It's not because she wants you to go and fight with the father. She's just healing herself. But you see, the fact that she's confining in a child, it means in the community we haven't established a point where she can go as an adult, you know, to confine and be able to get advice. And because of the community as well, we don't practice speaking. We don't practice reaching out. Now you see what she's doing. She's loading the burden, the load on the child. Now it's double damage, because now she's hurt, she's damaged, she's carrying the burden, she's passing it on to the poor child at age of 13. You understand what I mean?
that, and it continued.
And that's the
obviously.
dangers of not healing. I mean, or reaching out or speaking out. And I think honestly it's a valid point as well, that when you don't talk, the first person that you talk to is how you speak to them, without having an impact of negativity
And
or
I'm trying-
destroying
yeah.
their lives as well, offloading all that trauma. Having a child not choose between you
And if
and the
you don't
father.
trust your friends enough. I mean, I believe as women, we need to start trusting each other. We need to be able to say, "Ngizotshela uGugu my deepest, darkest secret," and I believe in sisterhood, and I believe in protector. And Gugu saying, "Ithi nje aphume laphana mina ngizongena," and you already have experienced that with many people in different forms, and now you have to find your own healing. You know, in your case, you have to find your own healing in saying, "Okay, so ngangitshele for many years." She could have told her friends, "Why bekatshela mina?" What questions did you have in your mind at that, and at which point did you have those questions? Now, at a point where you feel, I need healing. Saying right. I'm telling my mom, and I feel sorry for her, but good tough even for me, because now I need to choose between her and Baba. Mage said akhala mele ngiphume with the room and go and smile no baba, and ubaba kangenzanga lutho mina, and I've never seen him in action. When you're a child and you've never seen your father in action, that's the most confusing element of this whole thing. But if ubona ubaba ko agijimisa uma wakho aphethe something amshaya, you literally hate him. But in this instance you loved him. So at which point did you feel ukuthi I now need healing? Before umama shona?
No, I actually didn't realize that before Mama Shon.
Yeah.
I realized that after she passed away. And because I sat down and I was like, why did this happen? What happened? Like because I had my sister and she's younger than me, and she just had a totally different picture of my mom, because she never had all of these stories.
So you're the firstborn?
Yeah, no, first girl, basically. I'm the second born.
Okay.
Yes. So she has a totally different picture of my mom, and she never used to understand a lot of things. So I think I took it upon myself to just sit down and try to analyze her life from what she has told me when she grew up, and how she grew up, and how her marriage life was. And I realized that that's it. She just never healed. Everywhere she went, she would just go through things and
accept them
and move on with life as if nothing has happened. So that's when I realized that maybe I myself need that healing, because I've been hearing all of this. I've been seeing things happening in front of me as a young kid, and I've never really dealt with them. I've just, okay, so what happened? So then we move on. So that's when I realized that I need healing. Myself.
And when you decided you need healing, I'm sure because you are you're in the century to where young people are exposed to so many new technologies. What kind of healing did you, when you decided, okay, I need healing? Because it also takes people time to even realize they need healing.
Yes,
so the fact that you did was just a step forward. Now, once you stepped forward and said, I need healing, which areas did you step into to look for that healing? Because you had to find it before you ended up where you are now.
So how it happened for me was I had a boyfriend in Durban. I was still in Durban at that time. And he was planning on proposing, basically. So he took me to this spa where obviously we were massaged and everything was nice. And I just, the spa for me, the spa feeling for me, it wasn't just a massage and relaxing. And to me, it took me, when that lady was touching some points in my body, I don't know, it just felt like I'm reliving everything that my mom has told me, everything
at that moment when she was doing the massage.
Wow. And then that's when I realized, I was like, I think I actually want to do this. I think I want to start touching.
What was it doing to you? Yes, pressa, but what was it doing to you?
Emotionally,
it was taking it back, and
it was taking me,
righting the wrongs, basically.
Basically. that's what happened. It was just reminding me of the things that I think I've held back inside of me that I have not told anyone. And it felt like this lady is seeing everything. Like, you know, as she's touching me, she's actually seeing my life story of what I've been
Maga presa la, it's activating something else. Maga presa la, it's activating something else. And it was reflexology.
So hence the profession.
Hence the profession.
One would have thought, Rubuti, you went into the profession because of what your mom went through as well physically before she...
Yes, you can misunderstand it for that.
But then she found her calling through her healing.
Yes.
When she was trying to be okay, unaware of course, but you knew that you were in a point in your life that, you know what, for example, if I would say it on her behalf, she wasn't gonna marry, for example, with the damage that she brings to the table. But in that moment, she's in a spa, somebody's giving her massage, she goes back. You know, she comes back because also inside, remember, when it's healing time, you want to heal. You want the burden to go. You just don't know where to go and throw it.
And you were holding it on for so many years, and you didn't know how heavy it really was until it started releasing. So now in that process of it releasing, when you walked out of the spa treatment, what did you feel? Like, what did you, besides thinking, I think this helped me, maybe I'm sure you thought about that later on, but as you walked out of that particular session, who were you? What did you feel? What was different?
I think maybe most people say they would say I walked out of there a different person. I wasn't a different person. I was just aware of what I have been going through, and I was aware that I needed healing at that point. Because when that lady was massaging me, I was made aware. You know, I wasn't healing. I was just made aware of what I was going
triggered
through. Yes, basically. And then that's when I realized that, you know, I haven't really healed. I might have thought just because of time, because sometimes we say time heals, it does heal, but if you don't deal with things, it's not really healing. You just ignore them. You know. So
what do you think is the change now? Like, now that you are healing people with your own hands as a reflexologist, where are you as a person? Because, you know, at one session, I get what they say, when you go see a therapist, you've got to do like 10 sessions, 20 sessions until, you know, now we can see you're talking more, you're more relaxed. They give you feedback.
yes.
Where were you getting your feedback? Because you did one session, right? And you can't just snap out of that and say, I'm healed. You know, like, at which point did you say, okay,
did people think you were different?
Yeah.
Did you speak or think you speak or sound different? Did you feel
To
lighter?
yourself even.
Yeah. I did feel obviously lighter on the shoulders and everything, but I think my most healing comes from when I'm actually giving massage.
Wow.
Because
now it's changed.
Now it's changing, because now when I'm giving a massage, I feel
you know
so
exactly
much
what
better.
you're doing as well,
I feel
because
so much better.
you're transferring the
And I'm
energies.
seeing that I'm also not alone in this, because it's amazing how a person's body can tell a story of what they've been through massage, and you're touching points and feeling if it's supposed to, is it supposed to feel like this, is it supposed to feel like that, why is it so stiff, why is it so high than the other.
And you
If
just
it's
even
too-
advising a person
Yes.
is also a therapy for you. I mean, with us on Healing with Sophie and Gugu, if you understand how we started Healing with Sophie and Gugu, it was through thinking about, I need healing, she needs her own healing in her own way. Whether hers is 20% and mine is 60% or vice versa, it doesn't matter. Healing is healing.
Yes.
And interestingly, as I hear you speaking, you triggered my mother's story.
Yes.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So we understand you fully when you say, when you are healing somebody else with your hands, you are healing. So when I'm talking to you as a Sophie today, I am healing, because I'm realizing my story is not foreign.
Yes.
When I think about how my mother lost her life and I'm listening to your story, I'm identifying. And I've personally never really wanted to go to a grave often. Why? Because I feel like I want to keep her memory, and maybe I'm not healed. because I need to be at a place where I say, today is Sema Tunene, I want to go see mommy's grave and I want to go put flowers and be relaxed. And the fact I don't do that often means I haven't healed. But listening to you, it triggered Uguti, have you healed? It's a question mark. And it's a constant question mark on different various things, whether it's children, whether it's what. And I think with you are a healer. You're probably, I don't know, I'm just very superstitious and stuff like that. But you're born to heal. And you had to go through your mother's journey to be able to become the healer that you are today. Now think about this. If your mother never passed on the way she did, would you be a healer today?
Be doing this.
I don't think
It's
so.
a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
A very interesting disguise, but a very sad disguise, but it is there. So where to from now? Where are you now with your healing process?
I think you'd never say you're fully healed because
It's a journey.
it's a journey. It's a long journey. I mean, the more people I meet, the more the burden and then the heaviness starts slowing down. I don't think I want it to stop now because I think I'm enjoying,
That's good.
it being lifted out of my shoulders. So I'm in the process.
Ne? And I'm sure there are days where it's not just about trying to say, Njengoba, I'm on your back today, I'm healing you. But does it also bring you joy?
It does.
Because I think
It does.
we're
It
always
does.
talking, Gugu, about the sad part of healing, but there's also the positive side of it. And I believe if I was a reflexologist like you, I think there are days where I just be looking at this beautiful body umuntu ngithi, wow, flawless skin, I want to get so what's happening. And then those moments
You do get those moments because people, like I said, like different bodies, people's bodies tell stories.
Yeah.
Whether it's a skin tone, whether it's a scratch, whether it's a pH level, it's always telling a story. So whether it's good or bad, you're always looking at Maya sometimes and you're always looking, ooh, what happened there? Yeah. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So we've covered so many ways of healing. And today you've just launched
a new one,
exposed us
and a different one.
to reflexology
Yeah.
through healing, because sometimes we always emphasize go out there, speak, do whatever. Her healing came through her lying on a massage bed, and the journey was never the same ever after. So yes, again, we're introducing you guys to another platform that you can explore of healing. Visit your nearest spa or contact our sister here. I mean, you've heard her story, she's shared it. Maybe you're not the kind that needs to talk. Maybe you're just the kind that just needs the right attention at the right time. And your healing journey then, will start from there. Amen. I think another thing that we need to take away from today, Sophie, is the fact that, our mothers, our fathers, they don't know the impact of the baggage that they put on us.
That's another conversation.
We need to be very aware, of our children. Our surroundings, even when you don't know the right platform to go and be yourself and speak and offload, be careful the conversations you have with your kids, because you leave them with the weight. It doesn't mean when you've offloaded it's gone. You've now passed it on. You're passing the bag, and that's a ripple effect of pain. She didn't suffer from her own pain, she just had this burden from my parents.
Because I expected
not-
it to be her story, telling us, my boyfriend, the one who took me to the spa, was very abusive to me, and just by being there, I decided to no, it's not gonna work, because of what my mother went through. So this is a different story altogether. What a blessing. This person that you're supposed to get married to introduced you to something. So there's always a reason why things happen. And I'm just happy to hear on Healing with Sophie and Gugu, we are able to share testimonies. We are able to share Uguti. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And when you see something that can help you heal, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try it. And don't worry because I think we worry a lot. I used to worry a lot what people think. And I think subconsciously sometimes I still do without, even admitting it to myself. But we need to, it's a constant journey. It's an ongoing journey where we fight and we say, I want to be able to stand on my own. I want to be able to fight for this. And I don't want my kids. For you, in closing, do you think when you have a problem that you think you've got your own story now that you've carried from youth, from your teens, your mother's story that you've carried. Are you going to copy and paste it to your kids when you have children? The day you have children,
Or
are you going to
things
confide in
differently?
them? And do you think it's going to affect you if you can't confide in them?
I think I have a different way of approaching this now, because I've learned a lot, and I know it's a burden, but at the same time, it's still a learning journey for the kids as well. If I choose to unpack my burden, I'll have to choose wisely. I think I would want to choose the things that will make them aware of the things that are happening around them and make them grow, but yet not hurt them or
not overload them.
Yeah, so I would have to be wise about that. I think this has made me
It's an eye opener.
Yes, that you just need to choose what you share with your kids.
And how you share it, ne?
And how you share it.
How you share it, because you can
Yes.
say, Mommy's sad today. Mommy's going through a lot. You know, I lost my job. You know, this has happened. But, you know, I'm fighting it. That's what life is about. You can
Yes.
see these families. So you add on
Yes.
to what you're talking about. Yes, it's a sad thing. You're confiding with Mommy lost her job. And things are not going to be the same. We're not going to have the same amount of money we had to do all these holidays and trips and shopping and whatever. But this and that and that and that. So I think the adding on that you're talking about plays a big role, because sometimes we say, Mommy has lost a job, we're not going to get sweets anymore, we're not going to shop, we're not going to eat nice food anymore, it's full stop. And it's a constant, Mommy's crying every day because she lost a job. So it becomes like the worst thing that could ever happen. So kids don't learn from that. So I like what you're saying, Uguti. You're going to change the perspective on how you share it, on how you still, because, you know, now I also take my weight off to my kids. And initially I would say anything and everything, and then eventually I was like, yo, labantana baya jaja. Utola masega upset, it's like an emotional thing. Segati, I get it when you went through this thing. That's why you think I must go through this thing. So that's when you realize, yo, I went too far. Sometimes you don't have it. Yeah.
In closing, Sophie. Sure, because we can talk about this the whole day.
Yes.
That's why we have such a platform, you know, and we wish more people can be exposed to such platforms where they can come, talk, and heal. And you can see Sophie's just going through her healing. She's just going deeper, because that's what naturally happens. You see, healing is a ripple effect, but just like inflicting pain, sharing pain, it doesn't mean you have healed. You're just passing on the bag. In closing, thank you so much, man. Sibahle Nzuza, keep doing what you do, and I hope more people will be exposed to your platform. You know, thank you so much. It's another amazing episode of Healing with Sophie and Gugu.